Peace, family. I'm going to try my best once again to make this crystal clear for you. So, I'm going to call this explanation the DTMS hierarchy. Or some say it's because it's going to be two styles of hierarchy. It's going to be a DTM hierarchy and then a DTMS hierarchy. The light's going to turn off. It's going to be dark in here. Bear with the video if you wouldn't mind. But I'm going to call it a DTM hierarchy and a DTMS hierarchy. What is a DTMS hierarchy? And what is a DTM hierarchy? What's the difference betwixt the two? So, a DTM hierarchy, what it stands for, dimensional thinking mind. You see, dimensional thinking mind is what the DTM stands for. And then DTMS, what it stands for, is dimensional thinking mind space hierarchy. DTMS hierarchy stands for dimensional thinking mind space. Dimensional thinking mind space. So dimensional thinking mind and dimensional thinking mind space. Dimensional thinking mind and dimensional thinking mind space. What's the difference between the two titles? The DTM it represents your internal mental faculties and your internal moral capabilities and your internal spiritual prowesses, your internal soul prowesses. That's what DTM represents. And DTMS stands for your external mental prowess or your external moral prowess or your external mental faculties and or your external, I want to say, experiences, if you follow what I'm saying. So there's an internal and then there's an external. DTM is for the internal and DTMS is for the external. Now, the hierarchy, both DTM and DTMS are both a part of the same hierarchical system. You dig what I'm saying? They're still part of the same hierarchical system. And right now, currently, based on all that I've studied and all that I've validated and all the knowledge that I've pieced together in order to make this make the most sense so it can coexist with our reality and so I can label and describe it in a way that it would properly coexist with our reality and our day-to-day functions. The current rank number max is about 13 right now currently in total. 13 in total. So the DTM and or DTMS hierarchy ranking system has a total of 13 classes. Yeah. Now, just based on what I've studied, meaning the information from the Indian Vedas, the Indian Rig Vedas, the Bible, Torah, and the Quran, as well as the Upanishads, information from sources like that, the 7 planes of nature, which are the chakra aspects, or the 7 planes of existence, which are more chakra aspects, the knowledge and information in regards to the 114 chakras. And let's never forget a chakra. What is it simply? A chakra is, in Indian thought, each of the centers of spiritual power within the human body, usually considered to be 7 in number. Combining that information with this, and as well as my own personal experiences, what I have the abilities to physically control, and as well as my knowledge and or awareness of the situations or effects that I have been in throughout my life and right now for the current moment in time, is also what gives this 13-dimensional thinking mentality hierarchy its structure and information and or its foundation to make more sense. If all that I just said together makes these next few sentences make more sense. So, Here's the hierarchy. Each class or each rank within the hierarchy, within the system, within its arrangement, starting from 0 to 13, right? Now, based on all that I just said, I personally believe that it can actually reach a 14 DTM, or should I say DTMS, and I'll explain what momentarily why do I say S versus just regular DTM. You see, I believe it can go up to a 14 DTMS. You can quote me if you want, but according to what I've studied, I personally believe that this hierarchy listing should land at a 14 DTMS. It should land at a 14 DTMS, not a 13 DTMS alone, a 14 DTMS. But, I mean, logically speaking, yeah, I would see why it lands at a 13 DTMS and a 13 DTMS only, but I just see us to be more incredible than just that number, just that last number there. So me personally, I believe it should be a 14 DTMS, but because what the actual truth is, and according to the information that's out here, a 13 DTMS. And I'm gonna tell you about the 13 DTMS. So there won't be no chance or any possible way that you can be misled from this information that I'm providing you. No misleading at all. I refuse to mislead you. You couldn't pay me to mislead you now. Here's the reality. Misleading you misleads myself. This is why I have to make sure that this explanation will be perfect. It'll make the most possible sense that it possibly can right now and be as helpful as it possibly can right now. So here's the hierarchy in detail. Here's the DTM and or DTMS hierarchy in detail. So 0 DTM or 0D or 0 DTM. Now remember, when I say DTM, dimensional thinking mind, it means internal. When I say DTMS, dimensional thinking mind space, it means external, the physical. So 0 DTM. What is the 0 DTM? The 0 DTM is what you would consider the Earth Star chakra, or the Earth Star energy vortice, or the Earth Star energy center. Remember, a chakra, an Indian thought, each of the centers of spiritual power within the human body, usually considered to be 7 in number. What is spirit? Spirit is the non-physical part of everybody, which is the seat of emotions and character, the soul. What is emotion? What is character? What is soul? Emotion, the natural instinctive state of mind. Now here's what the literal definition says. A natural instinctive state of mind deriving from one's mood, circumstances, or relationships with others. That's what the literal definition of emotions mean, or what the literal definition of emotion says. Now, according to what I've studied, the way I see the definition of emotion now, and how it would make more sense, emotion is literally a natural, instinctive state of mind, meaning inborn, innate, natural self, the inner you. An emotion is a natural, instinctive state of mind deriving from the spirit itself, you see, meaning an energy that's positive all the time, meaning an energy that's good all the time, meaning your emotion is positive and pure and good at all times. Your real emotion is not the ones you make up from your character space, but your real emotion is positive, pure, and peaceful at all times. That is what it really is. Now, your character, what is character? Character is the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. So the mental qualities distinctive to an individual, the moral qualities distinctive to an individual. That's what character is. So your mental qualities are what dictate what your emotion will be. But here's the thing though, your emotion is peaceful all the time, good all the time, and it is connected to your mind, your mental qualities and or your moral qualities. Your peaceful emotion is connected to your mental and moral qualities. But here's the thing though, when you look at the physical reality that we are in, why are there so many people in bad moral qualities or bad mental qualities right now currently? Artificial infrastructure. They've all been raised upon it since they were born. Gonna get to more about the 3D and everything shortly. but due to the negativity of the infrastructure that everybody was raised upon, their mental and or moral qualities tell their emotions to be bat the flip stuff evil, you see. Moving forward. So character, the mental and moral qualities, or the mental qualities and the moral qualities, distinctive to an individual. What is the quality? What is a quality? A quality is a standard of something as measured against other things of a similar kind. And what is a standard? A level of quality or attainment, meaning something you have achieved, something you have done, and or something you have become in a way, habitually, if that makes sense. A standard is what a habit is, in a sense, for you. In a sense, it is. Just to summarize it quickly and move forward more faster. Your emotion is pure all the time, but yet your mind is what tells you what to do using the car battery known as your emotion in the vehicle known as your vessel, with the mind being the driver of the vehicle to do and or go. Like ego, you see. If you have an imbalanced ego, you'll have negative emotional reactions in the world. If your ego is imbalanced, you'll have bad emotional movements in the world, or bad emotional motion. Emotion. If your ego is imbalanced, your emotion will be too, you see. But once you balance your ego, and you'll begin to walk within belief system pillar 8, soul principle, positively and perfectly and or steady at all times. But here, or DTM 8, or the 8 DTM, soul principle. I'm gonna explain in a moment. So now the hierarchy, the classes. But before I go there, the soul. What is the soul now? Soul is the spiritual or immaterial part of everyone and everything regarded as immortal, you see. That's what the soul is. Soul, spirit, non-physical part of everybody, which is the seat of emotions and character, the soul. And this hierarchy that I am telling you about, this DTM and or DTMS hierarchy that I am telling you about, what it is a 13 class system in which labels and describes the aspects of everybody's spirit. Everybody has these capabilities. Everybody can raise their spiritual vibe and their spirit vibe and their spiritual vibrations, their spiritual vibrational energy and or their spirit vibe energy. Many different ways you can call it, but raise your spirit vibe to its absolute highest maximum. I'm going to tell you how right now. Or I'm just going to keep telling you how, like I've been doing so far, by any moral means necessary. So check it. The zero D, right? That's the planet we are on. The Earth star, or the foundation that we are standing on, the grounds, you see. Why do I say zero thinking mind? It's because it's an internal thing, astrally. Yes, the planet has life. The planet is a being. The planet is, it's a constituent of nature, of course. So that means it's also a constituent of spirit, because spirit is nature. Spirit is also nature. It's all astral. It's all hooked up. It's all one. It'll make sense to you a lot more later on. It will. As soon as words like these are able to sink in the way they should. So here. Zero thinking, zero dimensional thinking mind, zero DMS, or zero DM, zero DTM, dimensional thinking mind, zero DTM, zero D is the Earth star chakra, and then the planet that we are standing on, a zero DTM. And then now, this hierarchy right here, the 1D, the 2D, and the 3D, they would all be DTMSs, you see, dimensional thinking mind spaces, meaning physical. This is all physical right here. These words are how the dimensional thinking mind spaces coexist with our reality. If that makes sense, what I just said to you. So, what does it mean to be on a one-dimensional thinking mind space? Now remember, men, when it comes to the physical, we got all the odd numbers of the dimensional thinking mind space. We got all the odd numbers. It's only three within the physical of dimensional thinking minds before you immediately tap into the non-physical. It's only three physical, which are the first one, the second one, and the third one. And men, all men have the odd numbers right now due to how women were brought into existence. Men have the odd number right now. So, the first dimensional thinking mind space. What does it mean to be on a 1D? What does it mean to be on a 1DTMS? What does that mean? How can you possibly get to a 1DTMS? How is that possible? A few things that can happen. You can be born with a really severe handicap. Even then, you have some access to the 4D. Even with a handicap, even with your handicap, you still have an access to 4D. Another thing that can keep you in a 1D DTMS is being imprisoned, incarcerated, locked up, somewhere where you are not supposed to be at all. You follow what I'm saying? So there's another thing, meaning absolute stagnance. That's what a 1DTM is, or 1DTMS is. It's stagnance. It's not being able to move. It's not being able to live really, but you're still alive. You see, that's what it means to be in a 1DTMS. And that's primarily only for the men. Can women be in a 1DTMS even though it's an odd number dimensional thinking mind space? Is it possible? Due to how silly they are most of the time, not really. I can only see them on a 2 right now. I just can't see them anywhere else physically other than 2. Other than a 2 DTMS, I just can't really see women anywhere else other than that right now. Maybe because of my current situation, but moving forward here. A 1 DTMS means you're born with a severe high defect. You can't be human really. You're just trapped in body, period. You follow what I'm saying? In your absolute lowest dimensional thinking mind space, which is the 1 DTMS. That's your absolute lowest dimensional thinking mind space. The 1. Now, moving forward. The 2, how do you get out of it? Awareness of the other ones, and fixing your physicality so you can be able to tap into your spirit, so your spiritual self and your physical self can work hand in hand properly as they were meant to. You are destined to work for your you are destined for your physical and your spiritual to work properly hand in hand in absolute proper coexistence. You're destined for this. You are destined for it. I'm going to keep telling you why right now. So here. 2-dimensional thinking mind space. 2D. 2-dimensional thinking mind space. This is primarily our sisters right here. Our sisters are primarily 2Ds. They're primarily 2Ds. And what is a 2D? One who only sees and experiences and goes off of or uses their reasoning and knowledge to go off of only what they see and experience. You follow what I'm saying? Now, as far as the feeling goes, that's the 4D right there. I'm gonna get into that in a second. But right now, currently, due to the artificial infrastructure, which has our sisters so prideful and vanity-driven and vanity-struck and vanity-stricken, and with vexated spirits and things of that nature, they barely tap into anything spiritual unless they want to get something in their possession. You see what I'm saying? And that's where the 4D comes into play. But right now, 2D, what they see and experience, or see and feel. What they see and feel only. They don't think. It's just seeing and feeling. If you look good and you feel good, you all good to a woman. See and feel only. That goes for men. Because let's not forget, right now, currently, everything our women do only due to the entrenchment. Well, let me not say women then, if that's the case, if I'm getting ready to land that sentence. Everything that harlots do right now, because harlots are the ones that can only stick with a 2D, and sometimes they use the 4D to get what they want. Due to harlots being the way they are, the only thing they do is attack us and attack us only. That's it. They live to attack and destroy us, and live to attack and destroy us only. Harlots can only think in 2D minds. Harlots can only go 2D. That's it. Now, the 3D. How to get out of the 2D? Awareness. Once again, same answer. Awareness, acceptance, and rejection. I'm going to tell you what the rejection is in a moment. That's another, the rejection part is another concept of the 8D right there. The rejection part. The 8D is another rejection is another thing that goes with the 8D. I'm going to tell you in a moment. But here, now, how you get out of the 2D? Awareness of the next one, 3D. So, three-dimensional thinking mind space. This is another DT or DTMS for men right here. Three-dimensional thinking mind space. What you see, experience, and control. What you see, experience, and physically control. What you see, experience, and physically control. Now, due to our women, our sisters having a lack of abilities to physically control things, this is why I don't personally judge them as being able to have access to a three-dimensional thinking mind space, you see. The max they got is a 2D. The max they got is a 2D, what they see and experience only. But as far as our brethren, the max we got with the current artificial infrastructure is a 3D TMS. Oh, we can go way above, and I'm about to tell you how just now, right now. So a 3D TMS, three-dimensional thinking mind space, which you see, experience, and physically control. See, experience, and physically control. Or thoughts, feelings, results. Thoughts, feelings, actions. Thoughts, feelings, actions. It's the same thing. It's that philosophy. The three-dimensional thinking mind space is that philosophy. We live on 3 planes of existence. That philosophy. All of that right there is a three-dimensional thinking mind space. All of that is. Full awareness of one's surroundings and how you can move within it. This is the three-dimensional thinking mind space is common for the artificial infrastructure. It's common for it because this is where they want you. They don't want you to know anything about the other 10 and or 11 dimensional thinking minds. They don't want you to know anything about them because you'll be too powerful and too hard to control and or too difficult to keep on the line of suffering till death. Because let's never forget, the only thing this artificial infrastructure wants you to do as a human being, period, is to suffer to death. Stay in line, stay in your guidelines that involve you suffering to death. Don't get out of the trap. Stay in the trap that involves you suffering to death. That's what this world wants. So here's all, and the thing is, they're doing it by telling you the wrong thing night and day, endlessly, and keeping you in the wrong world night and day, endlessly. So I'm going to do what it's doing for my purposes, tell you the right thing and the right thing only to get you onto the right path and the right trajectory all the way through and throughout. Soul liberation, global child manumission. So how do you come out of a 3D? Have awareness of the next one. The four-dimensional thinking mind. Now here we go without the physical. Now it's just all internal from here on out until we get to the 10. Now it's internal from here on out. And I'm going to just go through it really quickly. So the fourth dimensional thinking mind. This is another one that our sisters have a very, very powerful tap into, especially when they want to get something their way. It's emotional control. Like the 4-dimensional thinking mind is like the 3-dimensional thinking mind space for men. The 4-dimensional thinking mind or the 4 DTM for women is like the 3 DTMS for men. You follow what I'm saying? Like the 4 DTM is how women control things in the physical 3 DTMS. If that makes sense to you. Now, just to make it quick and to summarize it, there's about 7 principles that our sisters and even our men under a hyper-emasculated state, that even our men, there are 7 principal artificial emotions that you all tap into, and make up other emotions from. The 7 are wrath, greed, gluttony, lust, pride, envy, and sloth. Wrath. What other emotions can you create from wrath? Anger. A cup of indignation. Agitation. Things of that nature. What other emotions can you create from, let's say, greed, selfishness, vanity, You see what I'm saying? Like all of those emotions, you can create numerous other emotions from those 7 principal emotions. But that's what happens when you have full awareness of how the fourth dimensional thinking mind space. I mean the 4DMS, the 4DTMS works, the 4DTM works. You see, when you have full awareness of how the 4DTM works, you can label and describe virtually any format of activity that may stem from that mental faculty with these 7 principles right here. These 7 principal artificial emotions, which are wrath, greed, gluttony, lust, pride, envy, and sloth. What other emotions can you stem from envy? Jealousy. You know what the word jealousy means? Jealousy defines as the quality or state of being jealous. What does jealous mean? Jealous is having or showing a feeling of envy of someone and their achievements or advantages. What does envy mean? Envy means discontent or longful rousing for someone else's qualities, abilities, or possessions. To have hatred for someone due to what they got is what envy is. But here's the thing. When your emotions, where these 7 principal emotions are being cured or being crafted from, or where those other infinite emotions, let me see, I'm gonna restart it. Hold up. When you got your base of emotion, your 4-dimensional thinking mind at its absolute base, because the 4-dimensional thinking mind is just the first step into the internal world of awareness of your capabilities internally. It's just the first step. The 4D is just the first step into the internal world of knowing who and what you are and what you're capable of. Those 7 principal emotions and all the things you can make up from them, even those 7 principal emotions are artificial and or fake, meaning wrath, greed, gluttony, lust, pride, envy, and sloth are fake. They are all fake. Those are just words you can use to label and describe what we are doing when we manipulate emotions into the air, or manipulate motions into the air, as I was about to say. You see, if this makes sense to you, because the heart's grounds or the heart's base is pure at all times. So in order for those 7 artificial emotions to be able to make numerous other emotions from their principal foundational grounds, they also have to be fake as well, because the heart is always pure, and all 7 of those emotions are alterations of what the heart actually is. Pure without those emotions in there. Pure without those alterations in there, what they label and describe them to be. You follow what I'm saying? If that makes sense to you. The heart don't change from what it is. Only you can feel like something into existence. So how do you upgrade from this 4D thinking mind? Have awareness of the next one. As always, the 5D. The 5D. Now, when you come to the voice of reasoning, DTM, you'll recognize that those belief systems are artificial, or those emotions are artificial. You follow what I'm saying? And then you'll have ways to summarize them and or categorize them even more. I like to use a 4 system philosophy within this 5-dimensional thinking mind to label and describe this more effectively to you. It goes like this. The ability to be able to reason using past, present, destiny, and ending. Those 4, being able to label and describe them with reasoning properly, 5th, right there. But in other words, your 5th dimensional thinking mind, or your 5th DTM, is complete access to logic, not emotion. Access to logic, not emotion. The voice of reason, remember. When you have full access of your 5th dimensional thinking mind, you have full access to logic. And what is logic? Logic is reasoning conducted or assessed according to strict principles of validities. Principles of validities. What is a validity? What you have validated. So meaning principles of validation, strict principles of validations. Logic is reasoning. Logic is reasoning conducted or assessed according to strict principles of validations. And what is reasoning? Reasoning is the act, fifth or physical, the act physical of thinking, non-physical, about something in a logical, once again, which is the principles of validation, logical or sensible way. Sensible meaning your mental faculties, you see. And what do your mental faculties give you the ability to do? Tap into spirit, past, present, destiny, ending. And to be able to label and describe them perfectly. If this makes sense to you. Now remember, I rest in a 9-dimensional thinking mind, communicating to you all with a 5th-dimensional thinking mind, as you are all in your 3-dimensional thinking mind spaces for the sole purpose of getting you into a 7-dimensional thinking mind, meaning soul fusion. You see. So that's the 5th-dimensional thinking mind, though. And also, when you look even further to the 5th-dimensional thinking mind, which will take me to the 6th one as well. When you go up to the 6th one, which is how you advance from the 5th one, you'll recognize that those 4, what in reality what they are, well, according to how I am seeing through my 6th-dimensional thinking mind, which is what I'm getting ready to talk about now, how I see it in my 6th-dimensional thinking mind, which is the 6th dimension, which is the third eye chakra itself. The 6th-dimensional mind, the 6th-dimensional thinking mind is the third eye chakra itself. How I'm seeing it is 4 styles of energy within my 6th-dimensional thinking mind, meaning full perception, meaning being able to see all angles of life. Merkaba. Look that up. Look up what the Merkaba is and why you have the 6 kind of like pentagons and stars on the Star of David and whatnot. Just take a look at it and do your research and see how you see it for yourself. But at any rate, the 4 styles of energy, how I see it through my personal eye, my personal inner eye, you have the positive energy, which is history. You have the balanced energy, which is the present. You have the negative energy, which gives off a clear description of what your future is going to be, absolute total destruction. And then you have the dead energy, which is the ending, and or the space in which the other 3 energies are going to drive towards, if that makes sense. Like, for example, if the positive energy drives towards this so-called dead space categorization of a principal disposition, then what's going to ultimately happen is said positive energy is going to have you on good grounds, not dead ones. Said balanced energy will have you on steady grounds, not dead ones. And said negative energy will have you on dead grounds, dead ones. If this makes sense to you. But this is just how I see it from the 6th-dimensional thinking mind. Gotta hurry this up though. So, and now the 7th-dimensional thinking mind, which is the upgrade from the 6th, soul fusion. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. Just because you're finally where I want you to be, because where I personally want you to be with all that I'm putting on the internet so overwhelmingly, and I honestly can't stand, overwhelming you all with any type of style of attack, but it's just like, man, this is desperation. This is also desperation. Get you all to upgrade by any moral means possible. You follow what I'm saying? Necessary. So here, 7-dimensional thinking mind now. Soul fusion. What is the 7-dimensional thinking mind? Meaning the crown space, right? It's knowledge, full knowledge, and or awareness, and acceptance. Just the knowledge and acceptance alone of all 7 of your chakra gates. How do you have knowledge and acceptance of your chakra gates? Have knowledge of their qualities, a knowledge of their abilities, and or knowledge of their achievements and or standards, you see. Knowledge of their qualities, abilities, and standards. Qualities and standards are the same word, so achievements as well. You can say achievements. Qualities and abilities then. Have full knowledge and awareness of their qualities and abilities and accept them. Reason why accepting the qualities and abilities of the chakras would be considered a soul fusion process, because let's never forget, there's only one of every chakra in every single for everybody. In reality, there is only one chakra. There's only one root chakra, one sacral chakra, one solar plexus, one heart, one throat or vishuddha, one third eye chakra, 6-dimensional thinking mind, and there's only one crown, 7-dimensional thinking mind. There's only one of each chakra. They are cosmic size energy vortices that all of our physical bodies are connected to. And when you gain knowledge and or awareness of these energy vortices and how they work, meaning the powers inside of you, and you accept it and you respect said information, meaning the faculties about you, this is how you complete soul fusion, and or this is how you merge with the universe itself. Now moving forward, the 8th dimensional thinking mind, still internal. The 8th dimensional thinking mind, soul principle. This is where it gets kind of sort of ugly, kind of sort of like the Lionsgate tap into, because now it's like in this positioning right here, due to the artificial infrastructure you are on top of, you have to be bold enough and courageous enough and willing enough to apply this information. But here's the thing though, let's never forget, everything in the world did everything in its power to ensure you would never be able to live in this type of energy at all. The 8th dimensional space is the rejection of evil. The 8th dimensional mind is the rejection of anything trying to keep you or trying to pull you down to a lower vibration, to a lower spirit vibe ever again. That's what the 8th does. Because even though you hit the 7 and you accept the information, you can still be pulled away from it and distracted effortlessly. That's why the 8th one is there for. Soul principle, lock you in. Then the 9. Moving on to the 9 one now. I hope this is making sense to you. I have to make it quick due to the space and whatnot. So the 9. The 9-dimensional thinking mind. This is where I rest. I rest in this one right here. The 9-dimensional thinking mind. No more of the fighting from the 8th one. Now you're in full leadership of oneself. You got control now. You got full awareness of who and what you are, and you fully accept it. Meaning, I trust the spirit, I respect the soul, and I reject all evil. I wish I can keep evil out of my space, but this is what makes my 9-dimensional thinking mind questionable, because it's like, are you still in the 8? Because you're still trying to fight this off. So that means you're not all the way free. So you can't necessarily be in a 9, because you're not even close to having a woman in your life to tap into your 10-dimensional thinking mind space. So it's like, yeah, I'm still kind of juggling between 8 and 9 right now. Having like soul principle battling and like full truth acceptance, or like the reality of myself living in my comfortable nature, meaning all of nature is finally back to normal, sound and healthy again, the way it should be and the way it was destined to be. And I'm just living in that. That's the 9-dimensional thinking mind right there. That's how the 9-dimensional thinking mind will play out in reality for you right there. So that's just full leadership of oneself then. The 9-dimensional thinking mind is full leadership of oneself. No needing to fight, no needing to apply war tactics and spiritual war ending things of that nature. No. The 9-dimensional thinking mind is full leadership of oneself. That's what the 9-dimensional thinking mind is. The 8-dimensional thinking mind is pretty much fighting. You have to apply it. It's the application of the 7. The 8-dimensional thinking mind is the application of what the 7 is in its entirety. You see what I'm saying? But now moving forward though, the 9-dimensional thinking mind, where I rest, full control of oneself. And now the 10DMS. The 10DMS, dimensional thinking mind space, back to the physical. So what happens for the 10DMS to the 10 DTMS to manifest? You have to have you a lady in your life. You have to have a girlfriend, a woman, as a man, meaning as a soul-based home for her soul-based home where she came out of and where she was brought out of into the world to exist. Her soul-based home. In order for you, because as soon as you get her, you enter that reset or that 10-dimensional thinking mind space. Now you're in a 10-dimensional thinking mind space, back to zero in a sense. You're back to zero in a sense, and you're getting ready to start over to go to the next few things. So now, 10-dimensional thinking mind space, as soon as you're light with her, she's in your life. 10-dimensional thinking mind right there. 10-dimensional DTMS right there. Boom. Physical. The next thing is the 11 DTMS. DTMS, the 11-dimensional thinking mind space. What is the 11-dimensional thinking mind space? You as a man and her as a woman, and you both have awareness of how each of you are completely. You see what I'm saying? She may try to play her games with her 4D, that's another story. But still, don't let her drag you down, pull her up. It's all about raising spiritual vibes. It's all about raising spiritual vibes. No one is allowed to pull you down anymore. Pull them up, pull them up, pull them up. Raise spiritual vibes. But at any rate, 11-dimensional thinking mind, space, full awareness of your woman. As you as a man have full awareness of your woman, and she as a woman has full awareness of who you are and how you like to be. That's 11. 12 DTMS. Acceptance. Respect each other. You see, you both got trust in the spirit, 11-dimensional thinking mind space. Now you both respect in the soul, 12-dimensional thinking mind space. Trust in the spirit together, respect in the soul together. Peace and love. Peace and love between each other. Peace is 11-dimensional thinking mind space between man and woman, and love between a man and woman is the 12-dimensional thinking mind space. Now unity, 13-dimensional thinking mind space, where you two are now comfortably together and united together. No more fighting each other. You're in that calm, perfect matrimony, harmonious state between each other, brother and sister, or husband and wife. You see, that's the 13-dimensional thinking mind space. Now, to close it out, I personally believe, this is just my personal opinion, me personally, there should be a 14-dimensional thinking mind space because of the grounds you two are on to advance within on top of properly. That's why I just recommend the 14-dimensional thinking mind space, but you can keep it at a 13 because that's what the information will tell you when you go do your research on it. But there you go. That's the 13 DTM and or DTMS hierarchy, meaning the 13-dimensional thinking mind and or the 13-dimensional thinking mind space hierarchy. You can either say it with the space and or without the space when you're talking about the internal portion, because it's all hooked up and it's all connected regardless. May you have learned something with this explanation here. Shalom, shalom, shalom. And may these words reach you all in magnificent grace and within outstanding benevolence. Peace, love, unity, and advancement to you all, my family.